that men over 40 are destroying their testosterone. And
Our testosterone is destroyed, brother. We are all destroyed. I'm telling you that one. You know, there's so many things that one can look into as a possible cause of, you know, low testosterone and all this
sure.
epidemic. But you know, if you look into obviously age, right? However, the lifestyle plays a huge role. As we're getting older, um, as it goes, you know, the bad food, the bad habits, probably the number one killer of testosterone is your stress. I think that aside of the fact that, you know, obviously you're older, your diet is terrible.
Yeah.
And on top of it, you have this huge amount of stress going on all day long. You know, you worry about your, you know, mortgage, about your money, about your 3.6 kids that you have in a store coming down the road. You know, life is tough for the older guys, but I just don't, that's how life is. So you have two options. One option is, you know, do nothing and just just live with the fact that you are older and then you have a low testosterone and then you cannot do anything, just, you know, just go ahead and die. Or you can, you know, try to live your life the best way you can. And I see nothing wrong with somebody who's 40 years old hopping on TRT and you know, getting a replacement therapy, so to speak, and the next thing you know, his testosterone levels are the same way as they were when he was 20 years old. And I don't see nothing bad into just feeling getting better and getting
Yeah.
younger. Nothing bad about it. But say that's not natural. What do you mean it's not natural? It's not. It's natural to get sick and die. That's
Well, we don't
natural.
care about natural or natural on this
No,
channel.
no, no. We don't
But
care.
but what you did, what you have taught me, what I have learned, you know, is there's more to it than just TRT, right? And a lot of doctors just prescribe TRT and they do some bullshit microdosing or something like that, but there's more to it. It's also managing the estrogen part of it. So, you know, I was hoping maybe you can kind of speak to that a little bit. You know, because a lot of my guys, they think like, oh, we just shoot you up and, you know, 250 or 500 milligrams or 1,000 or whatever it is. But then they get bloated and acne and all this shit, and they blame the testosterone.
And they go online and then go on YouTube and they try to figure out what's going on, and they see all this bunch of gurus and experts telling you like, whatever you do, just don't use the AI. The AI is terrible for you. They're so bad for your health. Like aromatase inhibitors, no way. That is
Yeah,
just terrible. It's another stupid myth. You're just a
yeah,
growth fence. Doesn't have to do anything with reality. Anyone who has experience in this game with, you know, in testosterone replacement therapy, anyone who has seen any kind of blood work of someone who's using, I've seen some blood work of people, including me personally, uh, 3, 4 milligrams, 5 milligrams of anastrozole per week because I had a need
yeah,
to control my estrogen, right?
yeah.
Uh, I've seen zero changes in my blood work, so to speak. The way it's supposed, like they say, aromatase inhibitors are bad. Who? Where? Show me the study. Show me what's going on. There is none. They're generally safe. Well, I'm telling you, yes, there might be a little elevation in, you know, it might affect your lipid levels a little bit. And some people say, oh, you know, I start using aromatase inhibitor and then have hot flashes. I'm, you know, start losing my hair. I will, I will bet with you now that none of those side effects can be contributed to Arimidex. Most of them are all estrogen related issues. You see, guys start pumping the testosterone, they start converting. Next thing you know, they're bloated.
Sure.
they have a hot flashes, they have a mood swings, they're irritable, they have water retention, they have fat retention, and they're wondering what the heck is wrong.
Yeah.
Well, have you checked your estradiol? You know, just because you have heard that aromatase inhibitors are bad and you're not using them, this is what you get.
Right.
So basically,
Right.
aromatase Arimidex, especially, it's probably it's a must. Whatever people tell you, it's a must. Anytime you're using over, well, I'll argue that injectables, now we're speaking, anytime you're using over 100 milligrams of testosterone, CPN8 or enantate or whatever you have per week
Yeah.
at any given time, let's say you're losing 100 milligrams per shot, right? You have to include Arimidex
Yeah.
to have the full benefit of it.
Yeah.
I know people argue, well, it puts my uh, estrogen way too low. Well, I didn't say that we're going to use aromacin, letrozole. I said we're going to use Arimidex.
Yeah.
And Arimidex is probably, anastrozole is probably the most intelligent and perfect way to take care of the estrogen conversion from testosterone. Because what it does, actually just nip it in the butt right from the get-go. Like it does not allow any estrogen to occur, right?
Sure.
You can, and when it comes up to estrogen control, Arimidex is probably my number one choice. The others are working into blocking estrogen, right?
Yeah.
But you see,
But does this one just stop the conversion? Is that the main difference?
this one just stop aromatize
Yeah.
enzyme from actually from getting hold of this. It just works aromatase enzyme. Okay, it
Yeah.
just presses the aromatase production rather, because if there is no aromatase, there is no conversion, right? Because there is nothing to convert testosterone to estrogen, right?
Right.
If you say, okay, I'm gonna let it go, I'm gonna let it convert, but I'm gonna block it with I'm gonna use estrogen, either a blocker or something that works on estrogen. I wouldn't even go that far. I will make sure that I have no estrogen to start with if I can. Why? Because estrogen is your biggest enemy when it comes to TRT.
Yeah.
That's to testosterone. Estrogen is number one, and it must be controlled. And people fail to understand that. Next thing you know, they run their 200 mg per week, whatever TRT is. They get bloated, they get water retention, fat retention, they get mood swings, they're irritable. Especially the guys who heard, oh, I'm gonna sprinkle some anabolic here, I'm gonna sprinkle some, I don't know, Deca, some Anavar, some, whatever, Primavon, Masteron. I'm gonna put some. Next thing you know, they get bloated.
Yeah.
You have to have a aromatase inhibitor hand, and basically for someone who has zero experience and is about to start TRT, and ask me for any kind of advice or what do I do, or I'm not giving advice to anyone or anything like it, but what I would probably do if I'm doing it, I will make sure that I start my TRT with about, let's say, 1 ml of cypionate or enantate. So if it's a cypionate, Farber grade is going to be 200
Right.
milligrams per
Yep.
ml. And if you have zero experience, you don't know anything about yourself, and you tend to be a little older, and you tend to be a little on the chubby side, carry more fat. This is my personal experience. On every 100 milligrams of injectable cypionate or enantate, I will use 1 milligram of Arimidex, and that will keep my estradiol on a very very low end of the the lab core 0 to 42 picograms per
Yeah,
deciliter, right? So uh, my personal experience depends on my fat levels. When I'm more fat, I produce more aromatase.
sure.
Um, if you're like let's say about 15% body fat, no more than that, and you're on 200 mix of testosterone. Now everybody's different. It's just my experience. 2 milligrams of Arimidex will put me about 15 to 20 on estradiol, which is below norm because normal is from 20 to 40, right?
Yeah,
But still, it's way enough estrogen for for what you need it for, for the overall well-being. Estrogen is extremely important.
sure.
It's anabolic, and you have to have some. And I agree with that. Anything within range is perfect. Anything above range, especially for estrogen, it's a no-go.
Yeah.
No-go for the other guy. So probably to start with, I would definitely start with if it's a 200 cypionate per week, 1 ml, I will include 2 milligrams of Arimidex. Ideally, you start your Arimidex the day of the shot. Basically, I would take my shot of testosterone and I would take a milligram of Arimidex. So probably the most ideal will be to take a shot and maybe 5 to 8 hours after the shot, take a milligram. That'll be probably the most ideal, but you're splitting hairs here and there
Yeah. Okay.
because it takes a while for the for the body to start absorbing that
So,
injectable. So
so bottom line, you would say that most of these side effects and issues that people complain about from testosterone are really because they haven't managed their estrogen.
absolutely, I stand behind it, and let I want to see anyone who can convince me otherwise.
Yeah.
That's my experience. 99% of the time, all your side effects
Yeah.
are all estrogen related. Every single one of them. Once you put the lid on that, once you start controlling your estrogen, I mean everything starts coming into the place. Now, estrogen, that's your biggest enemy. You're not
Yeah.
the one to start with.
So why do you think that, this is so controversial? Like, why do you think that doctors don't prescribe it, as we've come across, um, with our buddies in the gym and whatnot. And every time I ask them, what kind of AI are you taking? Are you on an AI? Are you on? And they say, no, what's that? What's that?
Uh, uh, okay, look, doctors are they're great people, great guys. Everything is
Hey,
fantastic.
Drago,
Yeah, go ahead.
can you stay right there? Because when you move back and forward, I can hear the sound sounds a little off.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I
so kind of like, and same with me. I'm gonna stay right here. So I'm gonna try to fill up the frame, just my face.
Okay, well, doesn't matter. So I will try to stay still. But where did we stop? I got
I
thrown
was
away.
I was curious on why you think, why do you think doctors, don't prescribe an anastrozole? Why do you have to ask for it? They don't prescribe AIs readily. I mean, they will if you ask for it, because I asked my doctor for it and he said, yeah, yeah, sure, here you go.
I, I believe it has to deal with, for them to cover their asses first and foremost, and they're taught certain standard of care. And when it comes up to testosterone and whatnot, I spoke to many doctors. I mean, they spend like 3 hours on this in the med school.
Yeah.
They spend zero time. So if you're
How
gonna
much
go,
time did you spend on it in Serbia in med school?
I went to bodybuilding school, man. I went to weightlifting school, weightlifting doctor school. But
Yeah, yeah. You went to try
exactly,
it
yeah,
instead of cover your ass, you tried it on your ass. That's what you
exactly.
went to first.
That's it. Trial and error, brother. That works. Experimentation. If the experiment doesn't work,
Yeah, yeah.
you're right about it. But I believe it's mostly has to do with education, and but times are changing. They're all catching up now. They know the game. They they're up to it now, and I think it's changing little by little. And also, um, some it has to do with the dosing itself and the way they address certain issue and they go everything by the numbers by not by the they go everything by the book the way they were taught at school, right?
Oh,
And they
I
say,
get it.
oh yeah, so okay, well, what average male what produces, I don't know, 10
So
milligrams a day.
they essentially look at you and me as the same person when they're prescribing something. Or maybe if, they look at maybe weight or height or whatever, and that's kind of yeah.
Interesting enough, they should be looking at all this. Some of them they don't even bit. They're very hesitant to do things like that. And to be honest with you, I think it's all the stigma, because of quote unquote testosterone, evil hormone. With
No, it's God's gift to us, man. It's
yeah, obviously it is. I'm talking about
God's
the
gift.
yeah, that's it, brother. That's it. And very good for a average middle age. I can argue you look better than
I feel better than when I was 20.
85% 25-year-olds today that you see out there on the street. But hey, that's another issue. That's another story. But I don't. You have to find a good doc, a doc who's actually specializes in this. That your best bet is probably sports medicine or wellness or whatever they call them these days. I don't know.
Hormone, like a hormone specialist.
Yeah, you have a bunch of these clients opening up clinics and whatnot, and most of them are up to it, they know, but with a regular general practitioner somewhere in Tennessee, we both live in Los Angeles for 25, I mean, 25 years we live in, LA is different. That's, you have everything there. So I don't know, the rest of the country, it will start picking up, everything will pick up.
Well, it's interesting because, when I first started a cycle, um, in my mid 20s.
But that's forget it. You're
Well,
talking
no,
about
what I'm saying is like,
25 years ago
no,
when
no,
we were
no.
in school.
What I'm saying is that I think it's gotten more and more mainstream,
Oh yeah,
and this is exactly why I wanted to do this podcast or video, whatever you want to call it, with you because we've been on this journey for so long, and and we've experimented in so many different ways at different ages and different cycles of our lives.
right.
Um, but now it just seems so everybody's doing, everybody wants a testosterone play. Everybody knows how important it is, but they're like missing that little tiny piece, which is, in a lot of cases, managing the AI, managing the estrogen.
They all want to
Um,
do it, but most of them they fail to do it the right way. And
yeah,
oh yeah, that's a whole. They fail to do it the right way, and that's probably the biggest issue. It's when it comes to TRT, it's your estrogen management. Number two issue that I see so often, people come to me as soon as they start. Oh, can I add this? Oh, can I add metformin? I'm talking about just the mellow stuff. Oh, can I add this peptide? Oh, hey, Drago, what do you think about adding like 200 mix of Deca, 100 ml? What do you think about Anavar? What do you think about Primobone? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? What do you think about growth hormone? Come on, man, stop, pull the brake. Let's see what's going on.
yeah. Oh
If you,
yeah, yeah,
yeah, if you have never used that and you have decided now it's time, you are 45 years old or 40 years old, you start, okay, the kids are out or whatever, or I don't know what the situation is, doesn't matter, you're divorced, whatever, you just want to improve, you want to
yeah.
be better, right? And then you start using and then start, you go online, you hear this, you hear that, and you start getting all this idea. Hold on, let's see. Start with the TRT. Give yourself about 2 3 months. Okay. After 3 months on TRT, of course, after 6 weeks, you're gonna check what's going on. You have to check your, you have to have your blood work done. You have to see what's going on out there, and then you can start expanding on it, or thinking about some other things. And of course, I mean, I don't even want to. There is, I mean, you have to your working habit. That's out of the question. I mean, gym, nutrition, uh, um,
Basic stuff,
basic stuff,
all needs to be dialed in
everything needs to
for
be
you to
done.
be fully optimized.
Correct, correct. If you want to just use it for some other purpose, fine.
Like getting your dick hard or something like
Yeah,
that.
but I can argue, screw that and go on with Cialis and Viagra if you don't know, what I mean. I mean,
Yeah,
sure, also is important, but what I'm saying is, we're talking. What we have to make sure that we're all on the same page. We're talking about somebody who's going to the gym, who's taking care of his body, wants to look good, wants to optimize him. That's what we're talking about.
yeah, yeah,
These other things are,
yeah,
that's something that will eventually come, like with everybody else. But uh, when you are 40 plus, okay, male, there's so many things you have to think about before you start making any kind of adjustments. This I'm going to take this, I'm going to take that for whatever reason. Make sure your training is dialed in, your food is dialed in, everything else, your rest, your everything, and then
yeah.
let's go. And keep the expectations normal, and results will come. As simple as that.
And just to be clear, you're telling me, your friend, and of what you would do, not what you're suggesting the world does.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely,
Get your own
absolutely.
fucking doctor, guys,
No, 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 no. We are,
or
we are,
drop us a comment
we are nothing here. But this is what I would do. So
yeah.
I would do 200 mgs of sip
If you were
for
just starting out,
if you're just starting out,
yeah,
and if you are, let's say, within parameter of the healthy individual for your age, meaning you're not obese, your health markers are okay.
yeah,
You don't suffer from any kind of chronic diseases or conditions. Your blood pressure is in check. Uh, if you're relatively healthy, this is what I would do. And if you can be a little overweight, but not obese.
yeah,
If you're really way out there, if you carry too much fat, if fat percentage is way too high, I, I would probably even start with 3 milligrams, to be honest with you. I mean,
yeah.
three times per week, 3 times per week. So that's what I would do, just
Well,
to make
listen,
sure.
man, we gotta wrap it up there.
Okay,
And
could we wrap there?
we'll get at it at the next episode. We'll start talking about adding compounds, and then if anybody has any questions you want us to address in the next episode, just drop us a comment, drop us a question. Happy to answer anything.